New Mexico Crime Files, a deep dive into the archives, shocking and notorious cases, the arrests and what led to them, and what happened to the suspect. Here are your hosts, Dean Staley and Jessica Garate. New Mexico Crime Files is sponsored by Medrano Struck Law Firm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of New Mexico Crime Files. I'm Jessica Garate with KRQE News 13, along with my co-anchor, Dean Staley.
Good to be with you, Jess. Can we jump right in?
Yes, okay. Let's jump in.
This first crime, everyone drives, right? And if you drive on the interstate, that can be nervy. People are going fast, people change, we have accidents. It's a dangerous place to be. Imagine driving along in the interstate and your window explodes and you know it's not because of a rock. Something happened, right? And in Albuquerque especially, I would think most people might jump to the thought that, wow, someone's shooting at me.
And not only are you not just in a vehicle, you're in a semi-truck and trying to keep control of your semi-truck so you're not crashing. You're on a busy stretch of I-40 and you have to take control of your vehicle when this happens. And your wife is with you as well. So lots going on in this scenario. And it was just this dangerous stunt that you want to know what's going on through these kids' minds, that you think that it's a teenager playing a little prank, but they don't realize the dangers that they're causing. Right.
And one of the things that I think is fascinating about this story and this crime is that this is that disconnect where you have someone who's a teenager who's doing something that's dangerous, and even after they get caught and are told, hey, you put people's lives at risk, you're in trouble, it doesn't seem to make any sense to them, doesn't seem to connect. It's like a different creature. Mm-hmm. It's like we're not even speaking the same language. The judge is saying, hey, this was a bad idea. And then they go on to do it again. Yeah. They
think it's funny. It definitely is not, as you'll learn from this victim. Christmas McKee spoke to this victim, and this happened back in 2018.
It was a dangerous stunt on I-40, caught on video and posted to the internet for everyone to see. Now, 3 months later, a New Mexico teen accused of shooting out a semi-truck driver's window is in jail, and the trucker has a message for him. News 13's Chris McKee spoke to the victim today. Chris?
Yeah, Jessica, this trucker's window right here exploded while hauling more than 77,000 pounds driving down I-40 outside Albuquerque. He says it's a miracle no one was hurt.
I've been doing this for about 7 years already.
What should have been an easy haul through Albuquerque in January became something trucker Jeff Gutierrez and his co-pilot wife Yvonne Spiewak won't forget.
Oh, it was terrifying.
The couple was in the semi seen in this video posted online of the driver's window being shot out while on I-40 East heading toward Albuquerque.
If I hadn't remained under control and I had lost control of the truck, we're talking about people being killed.
Jeff does have a heart condition. Anything could have happened.
The couple is now talking about the incident as the suspect, 18-year-old Koby Garcia, was arrested in the case today.
It gives me a good peace of mind that hopefully this will never happen to anyone else.
State police may not have been able to crack the case, though, if it weren't for the video. According to the complaint, the shooting video was uploaded in January by website WorldStar Hip Hop. They still have it posted on Instagram with Garcia's old username tagged, which police found. Before his arrest, Garcia was a basketball player for Grants High School, where he's a junior. It's unclear what his status is now with the team. Back on the road, Jeff Gutierrez says he has a message for Garcia and others about the shooting.
Think for those kids out there that think that in some way this is funny, it's not.
Yeah, now, Jeff and Yvonne weren't hurt when that window was shot out, but it did take nearly 2 months for that glass to get replaced because he drives such a new truck. Jessica?
All right, thank you, Chris. 2 others were in the car with Garcia when the shooting happened, but so far, no one else has been charged.
Jess, you've changed your look.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Nice a while ago.
Nicely done. No, I feel like you're always in the right place. Good stuff. Crazy crime, crazy dangerous. Lucky that no one was hurt, right? I mean, that was just the fact that this truck driver kept it together. What also struck me is the fact that the crime happens and it's months later, and this happens very often. You get teenagers doing things that are absolutely horrible. Sometimes they're just stupid like this. They're dangerous. Sometimes they're real crimes, and then we don't know about that at all. They're just a mystery. Police are investigating. They can't figure it out. And then suddenly they post their own video online saying, oh, look at this video, because they're bragging about what they did.
And that's how they get caught. Police have no idea who did this until they find this video and are able to trace it back to Koby Garcia. And it's just one of those things, too, like, it's just, they don't realize, like, the harm and danger that they are causing by doing. They think it's funny, and that it's so funny that they upload it onto these Instagram sites, and they don't realize the seriousness of this.
Which you expect from teenagers. I was a teenager, incredibly stupid as a teenager, incredibly naive. There's so many things you don't know. But what is striking about this is that after they get caught, in this case, there's no change of behavior. So let's run people through this. Koby Garcia in 2018 indicted on aggravated assault charges. He pleads no contest to criminal property damage, and he's sentenced to probation and also alcohol treatment. So there may be an alcohol problem involved here. He's on probation in 2019 when, guess what, Jess? He picks up new charges. And guess what he's accused of in this case? I'll give you one guess.
Let's go and take a look at that story from 2019. Here's Chris McKee.
Good evening. He admitted to using a BB gun to shoot out the window of a moving semi-truck on I-40.
Now the teen involved in that case is facing new charges, accused in another shooting that is very similar. News 13's Chris McKee is live at Paradise and Unser tonight with more on this latest arrest.
Dean, police say 19-year-old Koby Garcia was in a speeding car with 3 other teens last week when they were pulled over in the parking lot here of this Little Caesars behind me on Universe. Now, there was a BB gun in the car, and police believe the teens used it to fire at a parked car.
Pulling over a small black sedan right on the northern edge of Albuquerque.
What are you doing?
This Rio Rancho police officer was asking why a 17-year-old behind the wheel was doing 80 miles per hour in a 35 zone.
Sorry, so these guys were on our they've been following us. We were leaving McDonald's and then they started following us.
Police blurred this body camera video because 3 minors were in the car. Police say their story wasn't consistent with what the people in another car were saying.
And I saw this car, drove by my house, shooting a BB gun at my house. You can look all on the side of this car. They got all over the car. Right here.
Well, we can't see the damage because police blurred the video. The officer's reaction shows he didn't buy what the 4 teens initially told him.
So tell me a little bit better story on why these guys are chasing you.
Eventually, the truth came out.
Okay, so how many pellet guns do we have in the car right now?
There's just one.
Where is the pellet gun?
One of the backseat passengers wouldn't cooperate, though. Police say that was 19-year-old Koby Garcia. They believe he and his 17-year-old brother used a BB gun to open fire on the victim's car. Garcia denied it, but was taken to jail, where police learned Garcia is on probation for a very similar crime. Garcia pleaded guilty to criminal damage to property after video showed him shooting out the windows of this semi-truck on I-40 in January 2018.
You said you have a month left on your probation? Yes. Have you violated it at all? No, sir.
And indeed, Garcia is on the last month of his 6-month probation sentence for that 2018 semi-truck shooting. That sentence was initially ordered by a judge in lieu of 6 months of jail time. Back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. Garcia is now facing 4 fourth-degree felonies, including contributing to the delinquency of a minor and conspiracy. The 3 minors in the car with him were also charged.
Such a dumb move.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go again. So in July of 2019, he had a probation violation hearing to put Koby Garcia back in jail. He was released on his own recognizance. On the other case, he pled guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor and disorderly conduct. Then he was given deferred adjudication, and the case was closed in January of 2024 because he did complete all of the requirements the court had asked of him.
Right,
So,
and deferred adjudication just means the judge says, all right, I'm not going to rule on this. We'll give you time, and if you're not in trouble again, this will go away. So he got lucky in this case, or he behaved himself. Unfortunately, in 2025, he's
back in trouble.
He's back to speeding with no insurance.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't hear about him
Yeah.
ever again. All right, our next crime involves a fairly petty crime, a shoplifting crime, but as usual, this one escalates. This involves Santa Fe police when the shoplifter decides not to give up.
And he really puts up a fight.
Yeah,
We'll be right back.
New Mexico Crime Files was made possible by Medrano Struck Law Firm, local attorneys based here in Albuquerque, committed to providing personalized legal services, including free consultations. Call 505-217-2200 or visit MedranoStruckLaw.com today. Now back to New Mexico Crime Files.
Welcome back. We're on to our next crime here at New Mexico Crime Files. This one, a petty crime that, and this happens often, a petty crime that escalates because in this case, a shoplifter didn't want to give up.
Man, he can put up a fight.
Yeah.
I think a couple of times some of the stuff the officers did to him, most of the time will take down the suspect. This guy was not giving up and kept running. So let's go ahead and take a look at that video. This was, again, police responding to a shoplifting complaint in Santa Fe back in 2023. And you'll see in this report, it is someone the officers know also very well.
March 4th, a report of shoplifting at an Albertsons on St. Francis. The officer quickly finds a man matching the description of the suspect.
Here, man. Walk over here. Put your hands against it.
The officer quickly warns the suspect what will happen if he continues to run.
I will tase you, dude. I'm gonna tase you. Stop running. 222 full pursuit taser deployed. Stop, man. Get on the ground. Turn over now. Turn over. I will tase you again. On your stomach.
The suspect gets up and takes off again, but after a little more running, he's had enough.
Stop. Back here on the ground. Get out on the ground, man.
He would continue to resist on the ground, even spitting on the officers multiple times. They had to put a face mask on him to stop him from spitting on officers. They put him in the back of a police car, but he refused to give his name. One officer instantly recognized him.
Diego Lozano. Diego Lozano. Hey, he's wanted.
Lozano can then be heard kicking the door of the police vehicle. The officer who recognized him tries to get him to calm down.
I dealt with you before.
I don't give a
Okay, hold on. I dealt with you before. I've been cool with you. Kick back, man.
No.
Kick back. You kick my unit, we're gonna have issues.
All right, let's have issues then.
Lozano was charged with resisting and battery on a police officer. He was also charged with shoplifting for stealing a $2 can of alcohol.
Dean, I don't know. I've never been tased, but I think it'd probably take me out. How this guy jumped back up and took off,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I have a bigger allergy to being tased than some other people. Some people have a much higher tolerance for that than I do.
Also not good when the cops were in a first-name basis with officers there. So
Yeah, and let me just take a moment to point out, I think this is one of the toughest parts about being a cop. You know someone, they're involved in a petty crime. I mean, this was over a $2 can of alcohol. Mm-hmm. And it turns into this battle. And that just has to be exhausting and discouraging and demoralizing for an officer that, like, this is what I have to deal with day to day. And you know, it's an important job. You are, you know, you're answering a problem in the community. But you got to feel at the end of the day, like, did I really make the place safer today? Because this guy is not going in jail for any length of time, right?
No, and he's going to be back out and causing the same problems.
That's got to be discouraging.
He has done. So he was indicted on this charge in 2023, and then he changed his plea in July of 2024 and was sentenced to 18 months. And then the judge dismissed 6 months, and he was given 491 days time served. So he only served 4 months for this one crime.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that day of his arrest in March of 2023 to his sentence in September of 2024, Lozano has been arrested 6 different times for shoplifting, 2 aggravated assault. All of those cases were dismissed pending further investigation. None of those other charges resulted in a motion to change his conditions of release.
And I think there's an expectation in the public that when someone commits a lot of smaller crimes like this, and ag assault is not a minor crime, but commits all of these crimes, that it will somehow add up to something. But unless you really hurt somebody, unless it's an attempted murder or you actually hurt somebody, I think this is sort of the norm. right?
And it's just such a nuisance. Like, you've got this guy just causing problems over and over, and then cases get dismissed, and it's just one of those things you really need to fix.
Yeah. We'll keep you updated on this one.
Okay. So coming up next, this is a really interesting story from Portales. It's a mother who's driving home with their kids in the car when she hits a kid who's walking home from church. And the way that the whole trial just unfolds and what the 12-year-old has to say to her and what she has to say is really compelling stuff. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. This next crime is a fairly common crime just about everywhere. Big city, small town, doesn't matter. It's a hit and run. Very often in these cases, they never find the person who committed the hit and run. That happens a lot, especially here in the metro in Albuquerque. There are places on East Central where we have people killed in a hit and run and they never find the vehicle. This is different in the sense that the 12-year-old who was struck survived, thank God. But it's also interesting when something like this happens in a small town and everyone involved not just knows each other, but the victim and the person who did the hit and run actually had worked at the same place. This is
this very small town, and just the way this was handled, and it's very emotional in court. And I was really impressed with how this 12-year-old who had major injuries and had to go through a lot of help and basically restart his life, how he handled it and what he had to say to her was very just compelling to me. And then the woman that hit him is just a mess. I mean, you can tell she was really impacted by it and what she had done.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and take a look at this story. This is the story of a Portales woman accused of hitting a 12-year-old boy, as we mentioned, with her car and fleeing the scene. This happened in March of 2022. It's 35-year-old Christine Shuman. She admitted to hitting Brandon Thompson, but told police she panicked. Ariana Kraft has this story and how this crash has affected that young man.
1 year ago, Christine Shuman ran me over and left me to die. And I had to start my life all over again.
Brandon Thompson had just left church in Portales last March when he was struck by a car driven by Christine Shuman. Brandon, who was 12 at the time, was severely injured.
Due to my injuries, I am required for special student services. Changes in my speech and physical state are present. I cannot participate in contact sports. I am struggling with anger, frustration, and sadness.
Shuman was driving with her 2 young children in the car. She told police she turned around to discipline them when she swerved and hit Brandon. She says she fled the scene of the accident because she panicked, drove home, and covered her car with a tarp.
From not seeing what I hit and everything and how my kids reacted, I didn't know how to react. And home just felt like the safest place.
Shuman was charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving injury, tampering with evidence, and careless driving. She was emotional in court.
It was a bad mistake. I know I made a lot of bad choices that night.
The prosecutor on the case pleaded with the judge to punish Shuman with time behind bars.
For the sake of justice and the sake of the family, for the sake of the community, punishment in this case is warranted. And incarceration is the appropriate punishment. That's why we're asking for 6 months of incarceration.
Some of Shuman's co-workers spoke on her behalf, saying she's not an evil person. And Shuman's attorney argued that jail time would only do more damage.
If the court sends her to jail, she's going to lose her home, she's going to lose her children.
Before sentencing Shuman, Judge Donna Moyer addressed Brandon.
You're a fighter. You're one of the strongest people I can say that I've ever met.
Then Judge Moyer spoke directly to Shuman.
Your actions, Ms. Shuman, had consequences, as you can now see, not just on the Thompson and Lopez family, but on your own family as well.
She was sentenced to the max under the plea deal of 6 months in jail.
Brandon, I'm so sorry. I've never intentionally hurt nobody. I just want to say I forgive you.
Ariana Kraft, KRQE News 13.
Wow, Jess, this is a tough one.
It is, and it's really powerful. I love at the end where you've got this young man just saying, I just want you to know I forgive you, and after he's had to go through all of that.
And thank God he was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, surviving being hit by a car like that, something else.
And
So-
you could tell she's extremely remorseful, but I in that situation, just leaving this little young boy on the side of the road and then covering her car with the tarp, that's where it gets, I can see where the judge was like, okay, you need to have consequences.
It struck me too that she was with her kids. So you're doing that in front of your kids. Like you're showing that when something happens like this, you don't just say, oh, we need to help the person we've struck and we wait for police and do all the right things. Not only did she not stay and help, but she, with the kids in the car, drove home and tried to hide it. So that was a particularly ugly part of this crime. And then you feel bad. I have to say, 6 months in jail. That's good. Someone gets punished, but then you think about the chaos that sows in her life. As her defense attorney was saying, she's got kids she's trying to raise. She has a job. Who can take 6 months off from their job and still stay in their house?
Right.
So that's it's ugly all around on this one.
It really was, and we had done stories with Brandon's parents, and they just talked about those terrifying moments, getting a call that their son had been hit, just lying out there on the side of the road, and not knowing if he's dead or alive, and then finding out that, as you had mentioned, like it's one of their coworkers, and like, how could you do this? How could you just leave my kid on the side of the road?
Yeah, so that Erin Lopez, the mother of the 12-year-old who got hit, had worked at the same place as Christine Shuman. I don't think they worked at this time together, but they had worked together at the same place.
Yeah.
This is Portales. This is a small town. Everyone knows everybody. So that was not unexpected in a case like this, but how crazy, right, to think that they had worked together and that they were somehow involved now in this way.
And that she wouldn't just stop any kid that was harmed like that, and especially caused by an accident that she caused.
Right. So let me talk a little bit about what happens later. So Shuman pleads guilty, as you saw there. This was in March of 2023, leaving the scene, tampering with evidence by trying to hide the car, all of that. She violated her probation 4 times. And she was arrested on April 21st for possession and resisting. And I don't think from the paperwork we have figured out to this day whether her probation was revoked over that, but I imagine it was. I mean, that's the kind of charge that you pick up that they say, okay, well, you had probation, you couldn't agree to the terms. She might have gone back to jail on this one. So
yeah, still, you think that would have caught her attention and she would have cleaned up her act.
Yeah.
So we're still checking on that case. And Dean, I think this wraps up another New Mexico Crime Files. It's been fun. We've been launching this new series.
Yeah.
And we're really grateful for all the people who have been tuning in.
And also, let me just, I think the word is pimping. Let me pimp a little bit here. If you have a crime that you'd like to hear about, put it down in the comments and we'll look it up for you and we'll tell you more about it. Especially if there's a crime maybe that you followed, but you don't know how it came out. Because sometimes you miss, or we miss sometimes paying more attention to the ending of what happened. So if there's a crime that you're thinking of that you think, oh, I wonder what happened, put it down in the comments and we'll look it up for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for joining us for this episode of New Mexico Crime Files.